What's up, folks? Carstio72 here at the KCE. It's getting to be about March and doing an HPDE at VIR here in a few weeks with Tidewater Sports Car Club. So I'm starting to get my stuff dusted off after winter to get my car ready, the Sport Wagon. And so I got to do some stuff. I got to replace my front rotors. I mean, there's no more slots showing. They're well below minimum thickness. I was lazy and never took off my track pads after a November events I did, so the RPX, the EBC RPX are still on there. They'll go 2 more days, so I'm just going to leave them alone. But they do chew rotors when they're not hot, so these rotors were already pretty well done, so I just was lazy and didn't care. They work fine on the street. They just make a little bit of noise sometimes. Rear pads are the EBC Blue Stuff NDX, so need to replace those. They'd go a couple days. I don't know. They're pretty thin, so here's the new Blue Stuff NDX. They're tiny for the rear brakes. And then here's my new APR rotors. So I need rotor rings, so I got to do all that. RF650, the endless fluid, so I can put the date on it. It was 10/14 when I used it last, 4 months ago. It's fine. So I'll do that, bleed the brakes, and then I think I'm good. But I need to balance. My son's going to balance my wheels for me, as most of the wheel weights have at this point fallen off, and some people don't run wheel weights on the track. I tend to think going 130 plus miles an hour, it's nice to have balanced wheels. The rubber gets worn funny, and sometimes they'll move on the rim and everything, or the wheel, so it's worth balancing them. So he's going to do it, and then you put the heat, the duct, or the HVAC foil tape over them to try to keep the heat off as much as you can, so the wheel weights don't fly off, but I lost most of mine. So I cleaned up these today, took off all the wheel weights, and dropped them off with him this week, and he'll balance them at work. Okay, so these are the Nexen tires. These actually have 13 days on them, 13 track days. And, using days isn't always the best, because one day might be 8 hours, one day might be a couple hours, but I just kind of use them the typical, less than 2 hours in a day, HPDE type day is mostly what I do. So, 13 days, these look pretty good. I'm hoping I can actually get like 4 more days out of them. So we'll see what they look like, after this week, next weekend. But they're not worn too terribly uneven. This middle belt is kind of strange, where it's kind of worn on its own. I'm not sure. Maybe I was running the incorrect pressures. But anyway, these tires continue to be great. I'm going to buy them again, I think, when I'm done. These are the Nexen N'Fera Sport R 245/40/17 on a Apex, a VS-5RS 17x9 forged wheel. It's a great track setup. And these tires get rated really well if you look at the Grassroots Motorsport, which is kind of the Bible of 200 treadwear, track tires. It's Andy Hollis's testing. They consider these a Super 200, which is kind of like a faster 200 versus an endurance 200. But and they're kind of up toward I think they're in the top half of all their tires. They were about $900 delivered from True Performance Motorsports out in California. I'd buy them from them again. I find them great. I really like the tires. They have good feedback. They don't seem to get overheated. They'll go for the whole session and have a pretty consistent grip. So I feel like this is kind of a nice, kind of more middle ground tire. It's not as slow as a lot of the endurance tires, but it's also not a what do they call it, the pointy end of the stick tire, like the Bridgestone RE71s and what's the Yokohama Advan AE05 2%. Anyway, like basically autocross tires that get hot immediately, come up to temp and sticky, but don't last, which is kind of dumb for just doing lapping for HPDE. You want something that's going to last a little longer. Another tire that's pretty similar to this, that's very popular, is the Kumo, the V something 730s. My friends that I'm going with both run those, but I like these Nexens, man. I'm gonna buy them again. They're great. Start them off maybe 26.7 PSI, try to aim for kind of mid-30s hot. They're great. I definitely think that I added some extra camber last year, and I think that really helped with my edge wear. So the other ones look pretty good as well. Nothing too terrible. There's a little goofy wear on them, but they're not bad. So yeah, I'm gonna just try to be really diligent about rotating them. Like I'll rotate them after the first day, and hopefully I can get the rest of this year out of them. I mean, consumables are expensive, $900 tires. If I bought these at the kind of in the late summer of 2023, so basically I'll get 2 years out of them, maybe 17 events, 17 days. That's I think pretty good for $900. So anyway, that's it. Just checking in. Definitely, if you're looking for some 200 treadwear tires for track use, try the Nexens. They're not as popular as some of the other ones, but they get really good reviews. And I'm telling you, I've been really happy with them, happy enough that I'll just stick with them. I definitely, I would never use these for street tires, especially now that they're all kind of, worn in and everything. They're loud and stiff. I mean, I don't know why people drive around on the road on these things. I mean, I understand you might want to drive to an event without having to change your tires there, but I would never use something like this as a street tire. I use Continental Extreme Contact Sport 02, just a standard performance summer tire for street use. So, and then I got my all seasons on there now because it is still winter time. Anyway, that's it. I'll put some videos up after the event. Bye.